Hi you guys, it's Lindy. Today we are going to go through and check out some of my sold listings of items that sold on eBay over the first half of October. Now, of course, this isn't everything that I sold, but these are just 10 items that I decided to pull out to showcase because maybe there was something significant about them, maybe there was something I wanted to mention about these items. And so we're going to head over to my computer and take a look at 10 items that sold over the last couple weeks. The first item that I wanted to show is this Disney Winnie the Pooh one-piece Halloween costume. It was a size 12 months and it sold on October 1st, and it did sell within 1 day of listing. This was actually something that I got at the bins, and so my cost of goods was roughly around 50 cents. Now, I did get this a really long time ago, but I did not list it until the very end of September. Just because I was waiting for Halloween season. Wasn't exactly at the top of my listing pile, if you know what I'm saying. But 50-cent cost of goods. This did not sell for the $15. It was listed for $15, but I took an offer of $13.75 plus shipping. So after the cost of goods and shipping, my net profit on this item was approximately $11.56, which was a pretty good turnaround for a bins item. Also, something that I wanted to point out was that the photos for this item, I just wanted to kind of show that you do not need anything fancy. Of course, you can kind of see I did kind of a bad job cropping there. Whoops on me. But this was actually taken on a piece of foam white poster board. So literally $1 poster board that I had gotten from the store. I just took the white poster board, laid the costume down on it, used my phone settings just to brighten up the white a little bit. That's all it was. You do not need a fancy background or a light box. This was just a piece of white foam poster board. So just wanted to point that out. Next up is this Polo Ralph Lauren open knitted poncho. This was new with tags, and I did get it in a pallet lot. It did sell for the $33.53 sale price plus $7.25 shipping. I did end up shipping this in a padded flat rate for $6.90. So after all was said and done, my net profit on this item was right around $24, which is pretty awesome. However, it was listed for a good amount of time. I don't know if it was the time of year that it was listed or if it's the fact that it's a poncho. I don't sell very many ponchos, but this item in particular, I figured would sell over spring, and it did not. So it was listed for a while. It was listed for around 8 months, I want to say. So it did take a little bit longer to sell than I expected. I don't know if it's because it's a poncho or if it's because it's some sort of a sweater, but you know, since it was getting to be fall, it did go ahead and sell, and it gave me a pretty good return. I will take $24 all day long. Next up is this Chelsea and Violet dress. It is new with tags, and I did get it on a pallet order. It did not sell for the $19.10. I ended up taking a best offer of $17 plus the $4.75 shipping on this item. After shipping and cost of goods, my profit on this item was right around $11. This was something that was listed in the springtime. However, it did not really get a lot of attention during the spring and summer, which was a little surprising to me. But I did still want to point this out because even though it is fall going on winter, spring and summer is still selling, and it is still selling for a decent amount of money. A junior's style dress, getting $17 plus shipping is pretty decent for this time of year. And this is another example of a spring and summer item still selling in the fall. It's another Chelsea and Violet dress. Again, it was new with tags. It did not sell for the $21.70. I did end up taking a best offer of $18 plus the $5.50 shipping on this item. Again, It was in a pallet order, and after shipping and cost of goods, my profits were right around $12 on this item. So this item is a Paula Z formal dress that I actually picked up for only 29 cents, and I was very excited about that. When you are checking out your local thrifts, make sure to ask if there are any special designated racks for sale items. This item in particular was on a rack at a thrift. It's not my local thrift. It's a thrift that's about an hour away from me. But it's one that I go to every once in a while, but they have a designated rack that I never would have known was there if I didn't ask. But it's a designated rack where anything that's on that rack gets marked with a red marker of some kind. It gets marked with red, and everything that has a red slash through it is only 29 cents. This item was on that rack. But I do have to say, be really careful of those kind of racks though, because not everything is going to be worth picking up, you know, for a really low amount of money. I had a feeling that this dress would sit for a while because it was going to wait for just the right buyer, and I was right. This dress was listed for almost a year and it never had any sort of interest at all. I did end up making it a free shipping item just to try to see if I could drive a little bit of traffic to this item because it was sitting for so long. And it did end up selling. It did not sell for the $26.48. I took a best offer of $21 and it was free shipping, but I only paid 29 cents for the item. I ended up paying $6.90 to ship it in a padded flat rate because it did weigh over a pound. But after shipping and cost of goods, my net profit on this item was right around $11. So this pair of jeans, these men's 7 for All Mankind, I had originally listed for $25 because they were flawed. I ended up taking a best offer of $15 plus the $7.25 shipping. And I went ahead and took a $15 offer on these because I felt like the flaw was pretty significant. As you can see here, there was a hole on the seat of the pants, and there was also some frays on the bottom hem. So honestly, $15 plus shipping was more than what I had initially expected to get, so I went ahead and accepted that offer. Unfortunately, I did not notice the flaw right away. I was just so happy to see these jeans because men's 7 for All Mankind are always really good sellers. So I did end up paying the full amount that I would normally pay, which is usually the highest amount that I usually pay for cost of goods on jeans is right around $4. I did end up paying that full $4. I probably would have waited for a 50% off day had I seen that hole right there in the butt. But I got so excited, completely overlooked that. But even though I paid my full cost of goods, I still ended up netting right around $8.95 on this item, which is not that bad, especially since it was only listed for about 6 weeks, and it did end up having that flaw in it. Also, just let this be known that even someone who has been picking up jeans for a very long time, I still miss flaws like this quite frequently. So if you are still picking up items that end up having flaws when you get home, know that you are not alone, because I do it too. So this item is a Nicole Miller New York Floral Garden prom dress. It was a size 4. It is new with tags. It did not sell for $99.67. I actually took a best offer of $70 on this item. I was honestly expecting to get a lot more for this. I had it listed last January way in time for prom season, and it just never sold, which was really disappointing. So I just kept lowering the price and lowering the price because I didn't want to hang on to it for so long. I did have a pretty good amount of prom dresses that were just taking up space. I was expecting them all to sell within prom season last year, and it just didn't happen. Well, I ended up getting an offer of $70 with free shipping on this item. I just went ahead and took it just because it was going to be a really good return on investment anyway, and it was freeing up space because these gowns are pretty bulky. It was an item that came in a wholesale order, and so after shipping and cost of goods, I ended up netting right around $45 on this dress, which again, I really wish that I would have had a little bit more of a return. I was expecting to get, double the profits on that, but when it comes down to it, I will take what I can get, and I mean, I'm not going to shake my head at a $45 profit. So just know that prom dresses are not easily as sold as you would think. I know some people do pretty well with prom dresses, but I almost think that with the increase of the less expensive prom dresses that are all over eBay right now, I think selling prom dresses on eBay is a little tough. I did also have these dresses listed on Poshmark, and again, no real traction on Poshmark, but I will say that I did sell more of the formal dresses on Poshmark than I have on eBay. That's for sure. So this 9 West peacoat was actually something that ended up going overseas via the global shipping program. This was actually a jacket that I found at the bins, and so my cost of goods was right around $1.25 by weight. It was, a little over a pound, and the bins that I go to are 99 cents a pound, so call it like $1.25 cost of goods. It did sell for the $18.60. The shipping is not correct here. They actually paid $11.15 for shipping. For some reason, when we look at this here, it just defaults to the closest location, but that's not the actual shipping cost because I was charging a calculated shipping cost. So they paid $11.15 to me, but then they also had the global shipping program exportation fees that they had to pay to eBay, which I do not know what those fees are exactly. I just know what they had paid me. So after the cost of the shipping that I had to pay to get the item to Kentucky for the global shipping program and my cost of goods, my profit on this item was right around $17, which is a pretty good return. So I also wanted to point out that if you do calculated shipping, I'm just being completely honest, eBay ended up charging the buyer $11.15 for shipping to get the item to Kentucky for the global shipping program. However, it only ended up costing me right around $8 to ship this item. So I was actually in the positive. I was above and beyond $3 in extra profit just based on shipping alone. So that ended up helping my profits a little bit more on this item. So do keep that in mind if you are wondering what to charge for shipping on something like a coat. If you put in calculated based on buyer location, you will almost always come out ahead with the shipping because eBay is going to charge the buyer a higher shipping rate based on where they live or where the item is going to be delivered to. So when you do calculated based on buyer location, you are always going to come out ahead as long as you have the correct weight in the listing. So because I had the correct weight in this item, I overestimated actually. I gave it an extra pound just to make sure. I came out ahead on the shipping as well. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. If you're shipping something that weighs over a pound, do calculated based on buyer location and you will always come out ahead. So this next item is another example of what I just talked about with overestimating the shipping cost. This item was not sent via the global shipping program, but it was a heavier item because it was a big bulky jacket. This was a find from the bins. My estimated cost was right around $2.50 by weight. It's an Operation Iraqi Freedom bomber jacket. So this item, again, I charged shipping based on buyer location, and the buyer actually paid the $34.67 sale price, which that is the price that they bought it for. Again, the shipping price is wrong. They ended up paying $14.15 for shipping. But when it came down to it, the shipping label actually only cost about I think it was like $9.44 if I'm remembering accurately. So I actually made almost $5 on the shipping cost, which again is one of those benefits to having eBay calculate shipping for you based on where the buyer lives. So as long as you have the correct weight and all of the correct shipping information in there, you can't go wrong with that. eBay knows where that buyer lives, and eBay knows how much that buyer needs to pay to make sure that that item gets to them. So they charge the buyer accurately, and then as a seller on eBay, we end up getting a little bit of a priority mail discount. So we end up coming out ahead, which added into my profits. So when all is said and done, after shipping and cost of goods, I netted right around $30 on this coat. Again, this was something that was listed for a very long time. This jacket was listed for almost a year. So it did take a while. It was waiting for the right buyer. I did have to lower the price a couple of times. I think this coat started out around $50 or $60 and it just wasn't selling. So I ended up lowering the price and then putting it on sale, and it eventually sold for that. But it did end up netting right around $30. So I believe it was my last eBay sold video where I was referring to cashmere. Again, this is another cashmere sweater that sold, and it did sell for significantly less than I was expecting it to. It didn't sell for the $21.71. It sold for a best offer of $17 plus $7.50 shipping. It was an item that was new with tags that I received in a liquidation order. And so after cost of goods and shipping, I netted right around $13 on this item. $13 is still a pretty good return on investment, in my opinion, for my time. But again, cashmere just does not seem to be selling for as much as it used to. Again, it could be a brand thing. I don't know if Alex Marie is a well-known enough brand to do very well with cashmere. I do know that a lot of people do very well with cashmere, and I was expecting this sweater and the sweaters that I have that are by this same brand, I was expecting them to sell for almost double what they are selling for, and they're just not. So I am still happy though to be selling them for, you know, around $20+ with the cost of shipping. That completely has me satisfied because my cost of goods was fairly low on these. But it's definitely something to keep in mind when you are looking to buy cashmere to resell. Make sure to pay attention to the cost of goods, because not all cashmere seems to be created equal, and the market for cashmere overall seems to be going down. So if you are looking to pay up for cashmere, make sure to check sold comps for sure. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video and videos like it, please give it a thumbs up so that I know. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. Do not forget to check the video description for useful links. And please don't forget to subscribe for more content. And I will see you guys with my next video. Bye.